forever.
days it's been more exposed. The light has just been on it. y'all have all run around like cockroaches, and we've seen now that y'all are miseducated individuals and they don't understand. So there was an individual we've seen it be covering these sex worker topics very often, but it was an individual in the sex work industry. She went out young, I think she was about 19, 20 years old.
I don't know.
I think she was like 19, 20 years old, and she goes out and she claims that another performer, content creator in that industry knowingly gave her herpes.
Yeah.
So what she claims is she saw a open wound on the man's genitals and continued to still perform with him, and then she contracted it herself. The gentleman goes by the name of Gucci Third Leg. Pause if necessary. And pretty much after that happened, it went into a frenzy on Twitter. Because if you don't know about Twitter, the X community is a lot of the sex workers post their content there. They get paid off of it there, and they do a lot of spaces. Spaces was crazy. Everybody was talking about who worked with them, who didn't. They was talking about the test and all that stuff.
It went crazy on TikTok too, because there were a lot of like streamers and stuff that had like people in common with
who worked with
people who have slept with Gucci Third Leg.
Yeah, because basically, I think Ada Ross, Sky Bree had said she performed with. It was a white girl that he did.
I don't know about the white people, but Deshae
Frost. He had the girl.
Yeah,
on his show, and he even
then he had to like get tested on stream or something and show his results.
See, but that was the part that I was upset about, because the streamers got a hold of it and just turned it straight into content. And the thing about you young niggas, but see, that's the thing was like there is no code to them. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a problem with you making this content, but like really come with scientific information, something that you could go back and at least. That's crazy to think to say that they should at least have some type of real information that's been researched or discussed and talked about amongst that. I understand making it into a gang. Like the nigga had a fake doctor in there talking about you allergic. I mean, you got herpes, but you got niggonitis or something like that.
Oh, I didn't niggonitis.
Yeah, that's what Deshaun did. Deshaun Frost or whatever. Deshae Frost.
Yeah.
And he ran around his house talking about it like, oh no, I got the niggonitis. And it's like, okay, I get it, but then y'all aren't really explaining nothing. Like you could at least had a real doctor there, gave a 5 minutes to just talk about sexual health in a real way.
Nobody wants education and nobody wants things to be rational. It's a show that he has to put on. So he's going to get a fake doctor come on and put on a show with him, and then he's going to make it as entertaining as possible. Like it's not, I don't think the streamers feel that they have a responsibility to put out accurate information, because of the amount of content that they need to put out too. Like they be streaming for hours and hours on end.
No, they do. But that's the problem with the content. There's no need for you to have any level of accountability, any level of just care about your fellow man in it. That's the part of me. I feel like even if we talk about and we joke about something, I want us to still be able to go back and give good information that if you took it to a reputable source, they would say, okay, yeah, this is what they meant, or this is what they're talking about. And it's just crazy. So I think this is a clip of the girl right here. I just want to play real quick.
Sex culture and hoe culture and all that kind of stuff. Again, I am in no way trying to defame anybody. I am not trying to hurt anybody when saying this. I am just trying to save people from going through what a lot of people have gone through in this industry. It is real, and there's worse happening too. Behind the scenes, people are catching HIV too.
So my thing is, again, in that industry, there is their version of safe sex looks a little different. It's not always with condoms and stuff like that. It's with multiple testings.
There's very strenuous requirements when you're a sex worker that's working for a company specifically. But if you're like independent, that's up to you to require shit like that. But like my chart is online. Like you can access that. You can pull it up and access it. So sex workers usually get tested weekly.
They try to stay regular.
Yeah, like they know their status like very rigorously.
But that's what I'm saying. It's not really these people with companies anymore. This is guerrilla.
Yeah.
This is guys who just got a camera and a platform, and here we go. What it seemed like with her is, just from people discussing about it, she kind of fell for the guy. And she kind of thought this was going to be a bigger thing between them two. And then when it came out that it wasn't going to be that, and she was just another one on the list, that's when this kind of defaming exercise came out. Because a lot of people don't know you can perform with herpes in sex work. You just have to sign a document that says it.
As long as you're not having an active flare up, I believe, then you can have safe sex with herpes. There's like pills and drugs for you to take now too that keep everything together. And then also, herpes is not on the regular STD panel. Mm-hmm. So they'll test you for HIV, chlamydia, gonorrhea, all that stuff. Herpes is not on there because there are so many different types of herpes. And then there are false positives that come out also all the time. And it's not really like a super reliable test. And then also, if herpes was regularly tested, everybody would have herpes.
In some form.
Everyone has herpes in some way, shape, or form. So like, it's odd.
In the sense of like, you got not cold sores, you have the genital herpes, the HV2, I believe that's called. Mm-hmm. Then you also have like kids, like when you're a little kid, you can get hand and foot and mouth disease.
Yeah.
Which is basically you have a herpes virus on it as a baby.
Yeah.
That can now show up and things of that nature. So people look at it, but it's also the same token, like herpes, especially if you're medicated on it, it doesn't really change your life. Like you can listen to countless people, countless doctors talk about it. You won't show up on any kind of test. You won't have
it's
any
usually undetected.
Flares. And also for a lot of people, folks don't know this. You could have it and never show a sign of it. You could never have a flare up. It can be inside of your body and you never know. And you may be able to spread it, but you wouldn't be able to know that you had it yourself. Mm-hmm. So it's like there's a lot of stuff that people don't understand about it. And just to be honest, a lot of y'all are just the losers in this world who want to empower stigmas because you want to feel like you're better than someone, because when you know you look in the mirror, you're not. You're corny, you're lame, nobody wants to fuck you. So you have to like go to things like sexual health and comparing that to you and other people so that you can feel better than yourself. But you're not. Like, you're really just empowering loser shit. So you really should just think about educating yourself and understand that just because someone has something, that doesn't mean they're not human. They're still a person.
And you're not better than them.
Yeah, you're probably still worse. Because like people think of like this STD thing, like it's just like you go around and you're just sleeping with so many people recklessly, and that doesn't really how a lot of people happen. A lot of times it happens, one person's doing that and he's infecting people who are not doing that.
Yeah. Sometimes it's like you have no idea. Like sometimes you catch STDs in a committed monogamous relationship. One person is monogamous, one person isn't. Like, you don't always have to be a whore to catch STDs. Sometimes it's just an unfortunate accident.
You ever get one of them calls before from somebody?
No.
I have. She said she was burning.
No.
Yeah. She called me up and was like, I don't know what was going on, but I had chlamydia. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. Like, I'm gonna see what's going on. Cause I get regularly my blood work done on. So it's like, it's not like it's getting tested for that, but if something like that came up in my blood, they would have to tell me. Mm-hmm. So I was like, well, that happened to me. And I know me and you wasn't, being the safest in regards to that. Went to there, it was good. No chlamydia. What's that? I'm like, no, get off me. Gucci third leg. He goes on the offense. He ends up with DJ Academics and Aiden Ross. So they do like a live collab stream together where he goes on the screen and he shows his My Chart from 2023. Mm-hmm. So my man, it's about 10 months in, my guy. You could have got a new one. So
if you're a sex worker, then that's concerning that your last STD test was 10 months ago.
Or the one that you can produce.
Yeah. No, you should have one from like no less than 2 weeks ago. If you
maybe
regularly... No less than 2 weeks ago, if you regularly are performing with new women on your platform.
So then he goes down and he shows the list and shows that he does have cold sores. Like he has the virus that creates cold sores and stuff like that. So he got this positive on there. And what you got to understand on the internet, and me and her have these conversations all the time, is you are broadcasting to a majority of idiots.
People who don't know
So
things.
If you can give them any little bit of slide through to get in, they're going to take it.
Yeah.
So the fact that you got positive anything on that test,
they took it and ran with it.
They're going to run with it, Mr. Gucci third leg, to the point where he was supposed to come up with a recent test to Aiden Ross the next day. He didn't even show up. That nigga Aiden was pissed. They was like, he's definitely got it now.
Yeah.
But I don't, like I said, to me, I just think we keep empowering these stigmas overall, just because again, it just makes us feel like we're better than what we are. But in the same token, like, we could be helping way more people not have these experiences where they feel like I gotta kill. Like, people feel like they gotta kill themselves if they were contracted with herpes or something like that. Which is like, That's insane.
That's not necessary.
That stems from literally public pressure. That doesn't come from anything else. Like, I'm just reading some of these tweets of people about it, and it was funny. This one girl went down a list of all the things that she's, I'm negative for X, Y, and Z.
Oh my God.
And then I said this to her. She was like, and then she ended the tweet, which killed me. This is what pissed me off. I'm gonna read the whole thing. She says, no herpes, no chlamydia, no gonorrhea, no HIV, no STDs. Anybody who calls it STDs that's a red flag that they're an idiot. Because
STI.
Anybody now who is actually informed and talks to doctors about this regularly calls them STIs. Mm-hmm. So the fact that she's calling it an STD lets you know.
But people still call them STDs.
Yeah, but they're wrong. That's what I'm saying. They're wrong to call it that. And then she ends it with, health is very important. So I responded and said, you don't care about health. You care about empowering a stigma that makes you feel superior to others. And at the end of the day, that's all it is. Mm-hmm. That's all it is.
There's lots of different ways that people on the internet feel like they're better than other people.
One more thing I'll add here too. No one's here telling you you should or you're forced to have sex with anyone who has these conditions or anything like that. We're saying that you can just treat people like they're human. And if you don't want to engage with that, respectfully don't engage with it.
Yeah.
But don't disrespect them.
You don't have to punch down on people.
You don't have to feel like you're better than. They're probably not even really punching down. You just feel like you're punching down because of just the perspective that you're looking at it at.
Yeah.
That's the real insane part about it.